I thought, I'll get a guy who's like an insect. So I figured, okay, what kind? I went down the list. When I got to Spider-Man, oh, that sounded dramatic.
Anyone can wear the mask. That's the common explanation for a lot of people's love of the character, and a big reason why many consider Spider-Man one of the greatest superheroes of all time. The phrase, anyone can wear the mask, can honestly be applied to any character that wears a mask. In theory, anyone who gets Matt Murdock's powers can be Daredevil, just like anyone with Bruce Wayne's trauma and money could be Batman. But what makes that phrase mean so much for Spider-Man is not only the motivation behind it, that being with great power comes great responsibility, but how Spider-Man embodies the idea that you don't need to be perfect to make a difference.
I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
I think most people would find it hard not to relate to Peter Parker or Miles Morales to some capacity. Both Peter and Miles go through a lot of problems that quote-unquote normal people go through. Financial issues, juggling social relationships, managing school and work, cultural expectations, discrimination, and other general problems that just make life difficult for all of us. I don't know about any of you, but even if I had abilities like Peter or Miles, I'm not sure I'd want to be Spider-Man while trying to juggle my own everyday life. And all that's on top of the fact that Peter and Miles' lives would legitimately be better if they never put on the mask. Again, that could be said for most superheroes, but when you look at Peter and Miles, they're talented enough that they legitimately could benefit from giving up the Spider-Man mantle entirely, but they both know that would be selfish. Some people reject the idea that anyone can wear the mask because the average person isn't as smart as Peter or Miles. The average person can't design their own web shooters or rewire a police scanner or just make a suit to fight crime in. And while that is true, that's kind of the point.
But your father lived by a philosophy, a principle really. He believed that if you could do good things for other people, you had a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
Yes, Peter and Miles are both very smart and talented, but that is the great power. Like I said, they would be better off if they never put on the mask and use their talents to benefit themselves in any other way. They could accomplish so much more for themselves if they stuck to what they were already talented in and didn't bother fighting crime. And that's the great responsibility.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength.
We're all talented in one way or another, and while some of us have skills that would make being Spider-Man a little easier, it would never be easy because it's not supposed to be. And that's what it's all about, the decision to give up the things we want to help those in need, not because we want to, but because we can. So when we see things like Spider-Man holding up the Daily Bugle, stopping a train, giving a cure to everyone instead of giving it to Aunt May, these are things Spider-Man obviously does not want to do, but he has a responsibility to help people because he has the power to do so. And that is a sacrifice a lot of people wouldn't want to make. I wouldn't want to make it. I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't want to make any of the sacrifices that Peter or Miles do every day as Spider-Man. We've seen Peter and Miles lose a lot to keep trying to fight crime. We've seen them sacrifice a lot of things in their life that they want to continue fighting crime. And while in-universe Spider-Man does have a lot of fans, there's also a lot of people that genuinely hate Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson being one of them, as he slanders Spider-Man almost every day at every possible chance. And despite that, if there was an opportunity to save J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man would take it every single time because that's who he is. The appeal of Spider-Man comes from the fact that neither Peter nor Miles are perfect. They don't always make the best decisions, they don't always win, and they can't always save everybody. It comes from the fact that they go through everything we do and more, but they still keep trying to be better every day. It doesn't matter who he's fighting, who he has to save, or if the people love him for it or not. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man will always get back up and try again because at his core, he is the best of us.
Fine, I'm a nosy Parker, but now that I've found out, it's
what? My job to save her? I've got enough to deal with.
You can't mean that. You can't just ignore that she's in danger.
Hey, I'm trying to focus on what's important.
What's important is not standing by and allowing someone to suffer or die because you do nothing. If you don't get that, then you don't get the first thing about being Spider-Man.
Bit of a shorter video today, but I do got a lot of more stuff planned, so if you got this far, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.